Hello everyone. In today's video, we are diving into CSS, cascading style sheets. In the last video, we built a recipe website for kheer, and today we are going to add a nice design touch to it with CSS. So grab your code editor and let's make the page look awesome. So let's start with what CSS is. CSS is a tool that helps add design to websites. You can make this websites dynamic. You can make websites do things. You can design it. You can change the background color. You can change the font size. You can change the font color and much more. CSS is one of the three basic elements of a website: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. CSS is the second, or like not in chronological order or any order of rank preferences, is the most important element in making a website, which helps you do things. So without any further ado, let's start. In our previous website, we made a basic kheer one where there with a basic white background and text in black and h1 black heading of kheer and ingredients with unordered list items and process with an ordered list item. Let's add something interesting to it. There are three ways you can use CSS in a website. One is inline CSS. Inline CSS, as the name suggests, you can add it in inline. In the tag itself, like here in h1, you can go like style and height as 0% or whatever. So it's inline CSS. It has the most preference. Like if you have other CSS as well, but if you use inline CSS, this would be the most priority one to be seen and executed. Second is internal CSS. In internal CSS, you basically add a different style tag and write your style code in that tag, and then you apply the CSS in it. It's internal because you use it inside the HTML page of your website. That's why it's called internal, as to contrary the external CSS. In the external CSS, you have a different folder named style.css, which you import with the link tag, and which we are going to use now. And then in that different folder, you'll write your CSS code. So let's add a new folder, name it style style.css. The extension should be CSS, as it's a CSS page and like the code editor to understand it's a CSS. In that, here we'll write our code of what we would do in our CSS. But first, we'll include it here. We'll include it under the title tag. See, it gives me already. We use it with the link tag and with attribute of rel, and the relation is, it's a style sheet. href hyperreference is style.css. It's the name of our CSS folder. If you have named it style2.css, we would have write style2.css here. And as it is, we have to close the tag, and then yeah, we are ready. We have imported a style element, CSS file here. We just wrote href as style.cs and nothing else, because we have a style.css file in the same folder, where if we would have our style.css in another folder, we would have wrote the whole path over here. Like a whole path would be like c/forward, like the path /style.css. But if it's in the same folder, which is preferable, then we just write the style.css. So we'll save it, Control and S. We'll go to our style.css, and now we'll change the background color. The background color of a website is currently white, but we need to change it because white is very sober. We need something more interesting, more fascinating. So we'll write body, curly braces, body and background color, background dash color is name of CSS element, and we'll make the color in hash code. I would say hash F5FTC. Yeah, this is the color, and we'll save it. This would change the color of the background of the body tag. So let's go to our page and open our HTML and let's see what happens. Ta-da! We have our background color changed and now it looks more appealing to the audience, more interesting. So here's what's happening. Body is the selector. It targets the body tag in our HTML inside the curly braces. I'll show you. So body is the selector. We select it. We select the body tag through the selector named body, and then inside it we have our properties and their values, like the property value, and it ends with a colon, semicolon, and then we could have another property like font family and another property and so on, which we need to apply to our tag we selected. We save the file and we refresh it. We refresh our page and we'll see the changes. Now let's do something more interesting. With not just background color changed, we could add different things, like let's not just the body tag, let's select a different tag. We could select h1 we used as the heading 1. We could change it, like we could use the different color, color color. See, we are not using the background color here because we do not want to change the background color. We need to change the color of the h1 element. Color, colon, and the value. The value which I would be using here would be hash this, and we would be using one more property that's named as text align dash align. Align, it aligns the text and it have different values of this property, like center, it aligns the text to center, end, it aligns the text to at the end, center, semicolon to change it, and now we'll save it. So any guesses what the website would be? To see it, we go here, we refresh it, ta-da! Here is in middle with different color, and now it looks even more better for our website to look. Now next up, let's make the ingredients and steps pop for the unordered list. Unordered list are ingredients. To make it better, so for that we have to choose, any guesses which selector we have to choose? Unordered list. To style the unordered list. In the unordered list, we have a property named list style type, which we would use as square. By default it's none, but we would use it square. There are two semicolons which would cause error, and we could do one more thing. There is, we could change the color as well. The color we would use is hash 333. We'll save the website, we'll save the code, open the website, refresh it, and see, these things have changed. If you notice, these were circles and now these are squares. The color is changed, but they are very small to be noticed. Or we could use 3333. And the color of this has been changed, not the text, and everything has been changed. It's too small to notice. So we have changed it. We could do same for the ordered list. And what else we could do? Any suggestions? What I think is we could select the h2 tag, and what I could do is increase the font size to mm, 24 pixels. Px stands for pixels. That would make it bigger. Not made it not bigger. Let's make it to something like 30 pixels. Yeah, now it looks good, better. It's much more better than the previous website. And this is how you use CSS. It was a very small glimpse of how CSS is used. So stay tuned. In the next video, we'll look about the top 10 or top 15 most used properties of CSS and dive into deep in them. Stay tuned. Thank you, everyone.